There is a man who gets paid $400,000 per episode to be the most hated character on television. No superpowers in real life, no Marvel contract, no franchise deal. Just a guy from New Zealand who said yes to a role that every other actor was too scared to take. His name is Anthony Starr, and over 5 seasons of The Boys, his paycheck went from nothing to one of the highest per episode salaries on all of streaming. We're going to walk through it, season by season, number by number, because this isn't just a story about an actor getting rich, it's a story about what happens when the right skill meets the right moment, and exactly how much the market pays for that. Let's start at zero. Before The Boys, most Americans had never heard of Anthony Starr. Born in New Zealand in 1975, trained actor, years of local TV, a hit show in NZ called Outrageous Fortune, where he played twin brothers at the same time, 2 completely different characters, same episode. Impressive? Absolutely. Lucrative? Not really. New Zealand TV money is not American TV money. Even as a star on one of the country's biggest shows, he was making a comfortable local income, enough to live well, not enough to retire on. Then came Banshee, a Cinemax crime drama in 2013. 4 seasons, over 40 episodes. His first real taste of American paychecks. Estimated per episode rate on Banshee, somewhere between $50,000 and $75,000 per episode. Over 38 episodes. That's roughly $2 to $3 million total. Good money. But Cinemax wasn't exactly changing the game. What Banshee did give him was something more valuable than a paycheck. It gave him a track record, an American audience that knew he could carry a dark, complicated show, and casting directors who had watched him do it for 4 straight seasons. That track record is what got him the call in 2019. The Boys Season 1 dropped on Amazon Prime in July 2019. At the time, nobody knew if it was going to work. The show is brutal, it's satirical. The lead villain, Homelander, is not redeemable. He's not misunderstood. He is genuinely, disturbingly, psychologically broken in a way that makes people uncomfortable. Amazon was betting big, but the show was unproven. Anthony Starr was unproven at this scale. So the Season 1 deal reflected that. Estimated per episode rate for Season 1, $150,000 per episode. 8 episodes. That's $1.2 million for the season. But here's what Anthony Starr was actually doing in Season 1 that most people miss. He was making himself irreplaceable. The Boys couldn't work without Homelander. And Homelander couldn't work without the specific, terrifying, completely committed performance that Anthony Starr was delivering. By the time Season 1 finished airing, and Amazon saw the numbers, there was no version of this show without him. That's not just acting. That's leverage. The Boys Season 1 became one of the most watched shows on Amazon Prime in 2019. The Boys was listed as one of their top 5 most watched originals globally. Fan communities exploded. Homelander memes. Homelander clips going viral. Media coverage calling Anthony Starr's performance one of the best on television. When Amazon saw those numbers, they didn't just greenlight Season 2. They started negotiating from a position of need. The negotiation for Season 2 happened from a completely different power dynamic than Season 1. Season 2 dropped in September 2020. 8 episodes again, but a very different paycheck. Estimated per episode rate for Season 2, $200,000 per episode. That's an $800,000 raise on a single season, just from Season 1 to Season 2. When a streaming platform increases your rate by 33% between seasons, they're not being generous, they're being rational. The cost of replacing Anthony Starr, recasting Homelander, reshooting, losing audience trust, potentially tanking the show, was orders of magnitude higher than just paying him more. This is called leverage. Amazon Prime Video in 2020 had roughly 150 million global subscribers. If The Boys convinces even 1% of those subscribers to keep their subscription, that's 1.5 million people. At $10 a month, that's $15 million per month in retained revenue. $180 million a year from one show, 1%. Against that math, an extra $50,000 per episode isn't a raise. It's insurance. Season 3 came out in June 2022. Homelander had become one of the most recognizable characters on streaming television. Estimated rate for Season 3, $300,000 per episode. 8 episodes, $2.4 million for the season. Season 1 to Season 2, 33% raise. Season 2 to Season 3, 50% raise. His rate wasn't just going up, it was accelerating. Scene 8, Season 4, peak rate. Estimated rate for Season 4, $400,000 per episode. 8 episodes, $3.2 million for the season, $400,000 per episode. That's more than most Americans earn in a decade, per episode. Scene 9, Season 5, the final chapter. Per episode rate, holding at approximately $400,000 per episode. 8 episodes, another $3.2 million. This is the closeout, the finale, the end of Homelander. The question every high earner in a peak moment has to ask is, what comes next? Scene 10, the total. Let's add it up. Season 1, $150,000 times 8 equals $1.2 million. Season 2, $200,000 times 8 equals $1.6 million. Season 3, $300,000 times 8 equals $2.4 million. Season 4, $400,000 times 8 equals $3.2 million. Season 5, $400,000 times 8 equals $3.2 million. Total from The Boys alone, $11.6 million. Add Banshee, estimated $2 to $3 million across 38 episodes. Career earnings, estimated $14 million, possibly higher. Scene 11, what comes next? The Boys is ending, and when it does, Anthony Starr's income from it goes to zero. George Clooney sold Casamigos Tequila for $1 billion. Ryan Reynolds sold Mint Mobile for $1.35 billion. Reese Witherspoon sold Hello Sunshine for $900 million. They used their platforms to build assets. What you build on top of it, that's what lasts. From $0 per episode on New Zealand TV to $150,000 per episode on Season 1 of The Boys, to $400,000 per episode by Season 4, to an estimated $14 million career total. Anthony Starr said yes to the role nobody else wanted, and he delivered something the market couldn't replace. That's not luck, that's positioning. Subscribe. We do this every week.